Hello, I'm Archie Luxury and welcome to the Archie Luxury channel. And today I want to make a series. On why I love certain watches. And to start this series, let's talk about why I love my Patek Philippe World Time 5110. This is the yellow gold critter. Why do I love this watch? And I gotta tell you, I've owned a few Pateks. I've had quite a few. I've had a Calatrava, had the annual calendar 5035. I've had a few Calatravas. I had the 5107. I had my first Patek was a 3919. I've also had a quartz Patek Calatrava 3944. I have a number of had a few ladies pieces, and I've had a few. But I got to tell you the truth there. In all honesty, the World Time is probably the best Patek I've owned, and it's probably the best watch I've owned. And I mean, you can tell this because it comes with the Patek deployment buckle. They don't put that on less expensive models. This is premium territory. And it also features the Patek 240. That's the automatic movement with the micro rotor. So that's kind of their legendary automatic machine. And it's the special World Time version, which I got to tell you, when you think of a Patek World Time, when someone says World Time, the one that is most comes to mind is the Patek World Time. So there you go. That's my love for this watch knows no bounds. What I love about this watch here is that even though I've done many stupid things as a watch collector, I sold pieces. I was a flipper. I used to have some vintage Rolexes I sold, and I thought I sold them at a good price, but in hindsight I was an idiot. But owning the Patek World Time 5110 makes up for that mistake, because it is a great piece of horology. It's a great watch. It's an absolutely great watch. And I got to tell you, in all honesty there, it is the greatest watch I've ever owned. My Patek Philippe World Time 5110. And what do I love about this watch? I tell you, I'll give you 5 things I really do love about it. Number 1, it's a Patek Philippe. And I think as far as a classic Patek goes, Patek is famous for dress watches and complications. It ticks both boxes. It also ticks the box of Patek being a precious metal. It's yellow gold buckle, 18K Patek gold buckle, beautiful, expensive crocodile strap. No expense spared. Absolutely stunning. The other thing I love about my Patek World Time, why do I love it? What do I love about it? I love the dial. That Guilloche dial on the 5110. Now, in recent history, the 5110 came out in the year 2000, but in recent history they had the 5130, which was then replaced by the 5230. But purist Patek people, a lot of people recommend a lot of people think the greatest Guilloche dial on the World Time was on the 5110. That dial is stunning, absolutely stunning. The third thing that I love about this piece here is it's something special. It ain't just for your common garden variety watch guru or YouTube watch expert. This is a serious piece of kit. This tells the alumni you're a serious member. And I gotta tell you, the 5110 World Time there's a lot to love about this piece here. So it is just indescribable. Not every guru or so-called watch expert has one. The 4th thing I really love about the World Time is that it's so simple, but it's a complication. I mean, you look at it, it's got hours, minutes, and world time. It doesn't have a second hand, doesn't have a date. It's actually quite very, very elegant and simple. And I gotta tell you, when I bought this piece here, my criteria was I preferably wanted a piece with out-of-date function. See, a Patek's not something you wear every day. It's something you wear for special occasions. So I really didn't want a date feature on this watch. The world time fits it perfectly. So basically you set the time, 24-hour time, and off you go, and it gives you every time zone, the 24 time zones. What more could you want? The other thing, the fifth thing I love about this watch is that it's investment grade. This is an investment grade piece. I mean, let's be honest there. The Patek Philippe World Time. I remember when these critters came out in the early 2000s, and I thought this was so unattainable. If I won lotto, if my business went really well, if. Well, I gotta tell you, I think in this day and age, 2017, when I'm recording this video, I can't think of a better bang per buck investment to make. This is gilt-edged investment grade. I mean, in my country, Australia, a brand new Patek World Time, this is the 5230, 64,000 Australian dollars. 64,000. This is more expensive than an annual calendar. This is a serious piece of kit. Now, if we have a look at that there and say, okay, what's a 5110 available for? You'll pick one up, high 20s. This is Australian dollars, 27 to 30 grand, which is half the price of a new one. Now, I'm not saying the new one isn't beautiful. The new one is a great watch, but for half the money, is it twice as good as a pre-owned 5110? This has got investment potential screaming from the top of its little 36mm lungs. This is a piece which you can buy secondhand, which if you translate to US dollars, what's that? 20 to 24,000 US dollars. I can't think of a better investment to make. This is investment grade. If buying one at 64,000 Australian is a great idea, what do you think about buying one for half the price, a 5110? And the 5110, it was the first reintroduction of this classic line. And it's got I think the best looking Guilloche dial and the best looking hands. The 5110, there's a lot to love. This is a piece which I don't think any watch collector, no matter how rich, famous, would ever say this is not a watch worthy of meeting Jesus in. This is one of the greatest watches of all time. Investment grade. Yes, it's not cheap, but I've managed through horse trading and the lack of curtains in my home and a few sacrifices I've made to afford this baby. And I gotta tell you, the Patek Philippe World Time, the 5110, I love this watch to death. I love it. I love this watch to death. This is the greatest watch I've ever owned. Now, I've owned some absolute crackers. I've had 1680 red sub with papers. I've had a 513s. I've had multiple 5512s. I've had a orange hand 1655 Explorer 2. I've had a 1016 Explorer 1. I've had a vintage Rolex Prince. I've had magnificent pieces. I've had APs. I've had solid gold sub, 16618. But I got to tell you, this Patek here is the greatest piece I've owned. I don't think there's many gurus out there who are producing videos on YouTube who own a watch quite as nice as this. The Patek Philippe 5110 World Time. This is a winner's watch, and by watching my channel, you're part of the alumni. That's right. You are part of this sacred secret club. So I got to tell you, I love this watch. I love this watch. I love this watch more than most women I've been involved with. I love this watch more than any car I've owned. I love this watch more than any job or corner office with a door. I love this watch. I love this watch. This is my watch. It's a Patek Philippe World Time. I love this watch. I don't even need to wear this watch to love it. I put it in its beautiful, beautiful big box. I got papers, I got all the documentation, and just absorb it. Let it rub in like expensive vintage alcohol. I love my Patek Philippe. I really do love this watch. I love this smartwatch more than most things on this planet. Archie Luxury for the Archie Luxury channel in the I Love series. 5 reasons I love my Patek Philippe World Time 5110. See you later.